athletes out with a great round of applause as they start their quest towards that goal. These athletes should begin to play at this time. Good luck to all.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another live stream here on Inside Bowling. This time, it's our 4th edition of the 2019 Southland Bowling League Championship. We've been here the last 4 years to bring it to you. And if my math is correct, this is the 5th year for the Southland Bowling League, as I believe the first year was streamed by the United States Bowling Congress on Bowl TV. Don't get to do too many college bowling events. I am Mike Flanagan, and I bring you the coverage here on Inside Bowling for each and every event. Glad you're with us this morning. It's the opening round of the Southland Bowling League. We are here in Dallas, Texas at USA Bowl. We have 8 teams in the Southland Bowling League, Southland Bowling Conference. This is the championship event. On lanes 31 and 32 for you here today, we have the number 2 ranked Sam Houston State team taking on Louisiana Tech, the number 7th ranked team here. It is a bracket play today in this round number 1. Also in the bracket today, we have number 1 ranked Vanderbilt. The Commodores, coached by John Williamson and associate head coach Josie Ernest Barnes. They're taking on number 8 Valparaiso. The Crusaders, coached by Sean Washington and graduate assistant Sarah Fortin. Over on lanes 23 and 24 for you this morning, also we have Stephen F. Austin, the number 4 ranked team, the Lady Jacks, coached by Amber Limke and Steve Limke, the assistant coach, taking on number 5 Tulane. The Green Wave, head coach Haley Veach and assistant coach Jessica Swick. Over on lanes 27 and 28 this morning, Arkansas State, the Red Wolves, coached by Justin Kostick, assistant coach Tanner Seal, and I also saw Doug Kaburski here as well, who used to be with Arkansas State, but it looks like he has actually moved over, and it looks like he is still helping with Arkansas State. He was just lined up with the other team there. But Doug Kaburski, I used to bowl in youth leagues with him. It's cool to see him. He came up and said hello this morning. So Doug is here assisting. So Arkansas State taking on Youngstown State. And yes, Kaburski is actually the head coach over at Youngstown, so I did get that right. Okay. But he was wearing red, so I looked over. So it's the beginning of the event here. We're going to be with you all weekend. Today, round number 1 here at 8:30. We'll be back with round number 2 at 1:30 p.m. Round 3 will be Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Round 4, Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Round 5, Sunday at 8 a.m. So we do have quite a bit of bowling here for you this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here live from Dallas. You're watching Sam Houston State and Louisiana Tech get started this morning. It's a traditional team game to get things started here. Whichever team does have the most pinfall will get a point. Then we will switch over to 5 Baker games. And when we switch over to the 5 Baker games, it'll be at that point in time when we will then see the total pinfall for those 5 Baker games, and then it will either be tied up 1-1 or it will be a 2-0 sweep. And if it does go to a third determining tiebreaker, it will be the Baker system again. So that is our format here this weekend. It's been the same each and every year. It's a cool format. Glad you're with us this morning watching. We do have an interactive chat. I also will get another pair up for you here shortly as I get everything built with my scoreboards. Women's collegiate bowling is awesome to come and partake in. A lot of times on this channel I'm streaming singles events or doubles events, but it's always cool to have the opportunity to come out and be part of collegiate bowling and the Southland Bowling League. Being here now 4 years in a row, I feel like a bit of a veteran. I want to thank Chris McCoskey, who started the relationship, and everyone involved with the Southland Bowling League, including Thomas Samuel, who's here. And it seems like every year they've got some new faces here helping out. Very professionally run event, and I enjoy coming here. If you have any questions for me in the chat, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you as we just get started here in round number 1. Jennifer Morgan asks, are there cameras for all the lanes? We do actually have 2 pair for you. We're going to stay here on lanes 31 and 32, and we also have lanes 19 and 20 for you as well. And I will bring you some images from over there as well as we get going here in this game number 1. I've requested a graph of the lane pattern. It's always a very flat, demanding condition here in the Southland Bowling League, but I'll get you an oil pattern here in a little bit as we just get underway here in this opening round championship bracket. It is a double elimination bracket, and once again they're bowling best 2 out of 3, a traditional team game, 5 Baker games, and then if it goes to a tiebreaker, it'll be 5 Baker games again. Okay, everyone, I did just get the oil pattern sent to me, and I'll also have footage on lanes 19 and 20 for you here as I've built that out as well. But I just want to let you know that the oil pattern distance is 41 feet in length, with the reverse brush drop coming back at 39 feet. Total volume of oil is 26.55. It's a Brunswick Pro Anvilane surface here that they're bowling on, and the pattern ratio is 2.07 to 1. So we do have that for you, and that is what they'll be bowling on today. So very, very flat, should be very low scoring. Spare shooting should be a premium. And really what will be the most important thing for the team that takes home the championship come Sunday morning. So we've been watching Sam Houston State and Louisiana Tech. And now at this time, I want to switch it up a little bit, take you down to lanes 19 and 20, where we have #1 ranked Vanderbilt taking on the #8 seed in the bracket, Valparaiso. So let's enjoy a little bit of bowling here. And now I'm going to work on getting you a split screen so that we can watch both pairs at once. I'm going to check in on the chat this morning, see if anybody has any questions. And it looks like we do have a few in here. Danielle's asking, how can we see other lanes? We do just have one feed here on Inside Bowling, but I will work on getting you a split screen, as I said. We will also, throughout the tournament, try to at least have every team on the stream at least once in this double elimination format. We set it up to go with the in pairs for this round, opening round #1. And we'll be moving around throughout the entire tournament. So hopefully when your team is on, you'll be able to watch your favorite bowlers out there on the lanes. Once again, we are in Dallas. I want to welcome in everybody into our broadcast today here on Inside Bowling. Southland Bowling League Championship, NCAA Collegiate Female Bowling. Once again, if you're just joining us, Mike Flanagan here getting started here this weekend. Always interesting trying to get everything set up here, making sure the scoring monitors are in the right scoring format so I can build you a picture-in-picture. Always interesting making sure that everything's working here in the morning, but I think Rick Barbera, who's here, and Thomas Samuel from the Southland Bowling League, I think we've all got our stuff together now, 100%. So we've got our graphics built, we've got coverage here for you, and now I have a split screen for you after we see the 10-pin attempted here by Vanderbilt. I am going to bring you in both pairs that we have for you at once so you can watch your favorite bowlers bowl. So I will continue to work on that for you this weekend. I'm going to work on trying to help you out with trying to get the scoreboards to match now in color. So that'll be the next thing I'll work on. I'll also look in and check on the chat, see if you have any questions for me. I want to thank Carlos for joining me this morning here on Inside Bowling in the chat. Thanks for the kind words, Carlos. Got a lot of bowling for you this weekend, everybody. Once again, if you're just joining us, we'll be back again today at 1:30. Then on Saturday at 8:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. again. And then on round number 5, we'll have for you on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Be right back with you here. Enjoy women's collegiate bowling here from the Southland Bowling League Championships. So let's take a look at the scores here. We'll start on lanes 31 and 32. Louisiana Tech hanging in there with Sam Houston State right now. Sam Houston State, once again, the number 2 seeds, Louisiana Tech, the number 7 seeds. Just a 9-pin match. And then down on lanes 19 and 20, Vanderbilt, the number 1 seeds. Currently right now with a 93-pin lead over Valparaiso. I'll go over the rosters of the teams at this point in time. For the number 1 ranked Commodores, we have Brianna Land. She's a junior. She's from Perry Hall, Maryland. Emily Rigney's a junior from East Doncaster, Australia. Jordan Newham is a senior from Aurora, Illinois. Maria Bolanova is from Moscow, Russia. She's a junior. Samantha Gaynor is a sophomore from Chesterfield, Michigan. Adele Weiner is a junior from Las Cruces, New Mexico. And Kristen Kwa, who we've watched the last 4 years now, bowl for Vanderbilt. She's a senior now. She's from Singapore. For your number 8 seed Valparaiso Crusaders, we have Becky Los. She's a junior from Chesterton, Indiana. We have Sam Perez, who's a sophomore from Aurora, Illinois. Morgan Picha, she's a junior from Henderson, Nevada. Peyton Berderman is a sophomore from Grays Lake, Illinois. Hannah Fortin is a sophomore from Macomb, Michigan. Marika Yancey is a sophomore from Aurora, Illinois. And Kendra Tryansky is from Fulton, New York. On lanes 31 and 32 on the right side of your screen, for the Sam Houston State Bearcats, we have Madison Kellers, a senior this year. Tacey Ballin is a sophomore. Madison's from Matthews, North Carolina. Tacey from Centerville, Ohio. Syasa Ismail is a sophomore from Sembawang, Singapore. So we got a couple bowlers here from Singapore going over the first 4 teams that we're looking at for the first time. Lynn Fischler is a junior. She's from Ramat Efal, Israel. Haley Connolly is a sophomore from Hazlet, New Jersey. Bay Hernandez is a freshman from Bambag, Pasig City, Philippines. Caitlin Dickerson's a junior from Painesville, Ohio. And Elise Chambers is a freshman from Ocoee, Florida, from Circle Christian High School and coached by Brad Hagan. Sam Houston this morning taking on your Louisiana Tech Lady Techsters, coached by Matt Nantis. Matt's put a lot of work and dedication. All the coaches have, of course, but Matt's programs come from a pretty long way here. And I'll take you through the bowlers that are on Louisiana Tech, the Lady Techsters. We have Ashley Channel. She's a sophomore from Morris Chapel, Tennessee. Sarah Floyd Howells, a freshman from Slidell, Louisiana. Emily Reddig is a freshman from Cumming, Georgia. Caitlin Eater is a sophomore from Lithia, Florida. Kendall Hickman's a senior from Houston, Texas. Lindsay Manning is a freshman from Lebanon, Tennessee. And Kalia Patterson is a freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. Also listed here is Allie Leyendecker, and I'm not sure why her name's listed here. She doesn't have a number or a year next to her, so I should probably look into that. I just went down and talked to Coach Nantis, Matt Nantis from Louisiana Tech, and Ali Leyendecker. She's a highly touted recruit, and he gave me the lowdown. She came in early to Louisiana Tech this year, but she's redshirting this year. She wasn't able to bowl the whole year, so he could have used her at this event, but she'd have to use an entire year of eligibility. So she'll be bowling with Louisiana Tech the next 4 years, is the plan. So that's a little information there for you there. So are you guys enjoying the split screen? Is that how we want to view bowling today? That way we can see everybody. I'm gonna check in on the chat here. Yeah, Jennifer, thanks for the help there. I think I explained that. Want to welcome in all of our viewers this morning. We're here at USA Bowl here in Dallas, Texas for the second year in a row, and I was actually looking over the bracket and when I left for a little bit, just making sure I had everything to report accordingly. I'm gonna have to make a couple changes to our stream schedule. Actually, they made a change to the format this year, or to the times, I should say. We will be here with you for this round one this morning, like we are bringing to you now, and we will have this team game, and then we'll switch to Baker. And then we'll be back with round two today at 1:30, and then tomorrow we'll be back again at 8:30, same schedule, same time, and then again in round four we'll be back at 1:30 again. And then last year they bowled Saturday evening at 5:30, but that round has actually been moved to Sunday morning at 8 a.m. And then the championship will begin right after that, which will be around 11 or so. And then the other format change this year is it's a double elimination in the championship. So if the winning team were to lose, they have to be beaten twice. So we may have extra coverage for you here this year. Sunday will, instead of just being the championship match, we'll have match 13 and then 14 and then 15 if necessary. And also I do want to remind everybody that the tournament champion here does receive an automatic berth into the NCAA Women's Collegiate Championships. So they are bowling for a berth here, everyone. And there are some teams that I'm sure will get in based off of ranking, but there are a lot of teams in here that are underdogs that they're gonna have to win their berth by winning this event. It's gonna be fun to watch it all unfold right here. And thanks, David. Appreciate it. Now, as far as the other teams that are here, we've covered 4 of them who we have up on your screen for you today. And then when we do come back with the next round, we will cover other teams. The other teams that are here, Arkansas State, the Red Wolves. Jordan Richard graduated last year. She's been a staple here in this conference. And kind of a revamped team, a little bit of a younger team. 4 freshmen on the team now, and some other players are having to step up. Leah Glazer is a sophomore. She had a really good performance at Junior Gold. So that's a name that I recognize. Julia Huron. So Arkansas State, the Red Wolves, ranked number 3. I believe they were ranked number 1 coming into this event last year. And then number 4 ranked Stephen F. Austin Lady Jacks. Coached by Amber Limke and Steve Limke. They've got 2 seniors this year, a junior, 3 sophomores, and a freshman. So they did lose Stephanie Schwartz this year. She was a senior last year, standout bowler for them. Looking forward to see what she does on the PWBA tour as she goes out and bowls this year. Look for her out there. A lot of future professional women's bowlers in this conference over the years. Jordan Richard, of course, took home Rookie of the Year and won her first title last year. So great opportunity to feed the PWBA tour from the Southland Bowling League. And then the 5th ranked team coming in is the Tulane Green Wave. Haley Veach's team. Isabel Lee, Tiara Gulam, Crystal Singh, Veronica Petronik, Haley Hammond, and Madison McCall. And we will have them for you a little bit later today. And then Youngstown State is new to the Southland Bowling League. They replace Monmouth. So a change this year. Youngstown State, the Penguins. Nikki Mendez, Emma Wasilewski, Alexis Sullivan, Rachel Darrow, Rachel Ellis, Ashley Kolb, Emily Dietz, and Emma Dockery, and head coach Doug Kaburski coming over from Arkansas State. So those are your 8 teams here as we run down them here in this first game. Looking at the scores, Vanderbilt has 553 through 6 frames. Valparaiso 430 through six frames and 1 frame in the 7th. Louisiana Tech has 549 through 6 and 2 frames. And Sam Houston State, the Bearcats, 523 through 6 and 2 frames. So really close match here on 31 and 32 between Sam Houston State and Louisiana Tech. Okay, just figuring out a few more things here on the ground with tournament official Rick Barbera, who's here. Rick and I go way back to the Brunswick management days, actually. He was one of the trainers that helped train me how to run a bowling center, so it's always great to have Rick at these events. Rick was just in Detroit at the World Series of Bowling. I see Rick out on the road at several events, so I want to thank him for all the work that he does for bowling. So once again, if you are just joining us, welcome. And after this game here, we will have 5 Baker games for you, total pinfall. If the two teams are 1-1, meaning that they either won this format, the 1-team game, or the 5 Baker game total pinfall. If it's tied 1-1, then they go to a best of 7 Baker head-to-head. First team to win 4 games will determine who advances in the bracket. I should also let you know that you can head over to southland.org to see the Southland Bowling League Championship information. You can see the bracket there and follow along. I'm going to post a link to it in the chat right now, so you can check that out. So just a 10-pin match here on lanes 31 and 32. This one's going to come right down to the wire. It's going to get pretty exciting here. It's a 167-pin lead for Vanderbilt on the left side of your screen on 19 and 20. To give you an update from what's happening on the other matchups around us, all around lanes 23 and 24, Stephen F. Austin and Tulane. Tulane right now with a 95-pin lead through two bowlers in the 9th frame. So Tulane, the 5 seed, looking to upset the 4 seed Stephen F. Austin in the first game. On lanes 27 and 28, we have Arkansas State taking on Youngstown State. And currently right now, Arkansas State has a 51-pin lead. 2 bowlers into the 9th frame. Wherever you're watching, hopefully you're enjoying your Friday. If it's the end of the work week for you, TGIF. Hope you have a wonderful weekend and you can join us for more bowling this weekend right here from USA Bowl here in Dallas, Texas. Do want to thank my man Josh Modello, proprietor here at USA Bowl, for taking care of us again this year. It's our 2nd year coming back. Junior Gold also was in this facility last summer in July. Always do a great job here, so thanks to Josh and his entire family. They've upgraded the bowling center. They put a lot of money into this place, and it's just beautiful. Done a great job. Want to thank Jennifer, Tommy, and David in the chat, Willie, Nicole, for being here with us this morning. Just a 28-pin match here on 31 and 32. Coming down to it. Pretty impressive 5-bagger there for Sam Houston State's 4th bowler. And another big strike for Sam Houston State. 57-pin lead, but 51 pins now, and if a strike here for the anchor bowler for Louisiana Tech, that would cut it to 31 pins going into the 10th frame, but Sam Houston State with more marks going into the 10th frame. The opens here in the 9th have not bode well for Louisiana Tech. It's important to get a double here, setting up the 10th frame to have a chance here. Comes in high for a 3-pin, so looks like Sam Houston State's in pretty good shape going into the 10th frame here. Vanderbilt with nearly a 200-pin lead. Sorry for the shakiness of the camera there, folks. We just had somebody just bump it down there. Looks like things have settled in okay. I'm located behind lanes 25 and 26, and the two furthest pairs in play are the two that we are streaming for you this morning. So a little bit tougher for me to follow the action from where I am, but I'm doing the best job I can here for you. Strike for Sam Houston State. And after 5 in a row, the string ends for Vanderbilt. Maria Bolanova. And a nice spare conversion by Maria. Picking the washout, the 1-2-4-10. So in the RPI, I'm looking at it here for the first time today. Vanderbilt, the #1 ranked team in the country according to the RPI. Second is McKendree. Third is Nebraska. Fourth is Sam Houston State. So we have the #1 and #4 ranked teams in the country here in the Southland Bowling League. And fifth is Arkansas State, the 3 seeds here today. Sixth is Stephen F. Austin, also here today. Seventh is NCAA. Eighth is University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Ninth is Fairleigh Dickinson. 10th is St. Francis. 11th, Wisconsin Whitewater. 12th, Central Missouri. 13th, Delaware State. 14th, right here, Tulane, who are our 5 seeds here today. And on down the list, you can check that out. I'll post that also in the chat, the NCAA rankings of the bowling teams. Put that in there for you right now if you want to go check that out. Once again, we have 8 teams bowling at this time. We do have 4 of them for you here. We do have 50% of the field on the live stream, and we will get all the teams on throughout the weekend. You can check our stream schedule over on Inside Bowling on our YouTube page. I do have to make a change though. Saturday night's round has been moved to Sunday. So I'll have our graphic updated as well. I'll send a note in right now. I have a graphic on the homepage of Inside Bowling with the stream schedule, and it's a little off. Tommy Larson's in the chat, says, talk about Tulane strike hat, please. And I do see a hat floating around over there. I'll have to get the scoop on that. When Tulane's up on the live stream, I'll be sure to talk to the coaches and find out what the deal is with the strike hat. I'm sure you already know, but we'll tell the folks at home what it is indeed. So on 31 and 32, we do have a 56-pin lead with a bunch of strikes setting up the 10th frame for Sam Houston State. So Sam Houston State is going to take a 1-0 lead in this best-of-3 match against Louisiana Tech. But Louisiana Tech hung with them most of the game. It was very, very even. And then down on lanes 19 and 20, it's going to be about a 200-pin victory roughly for Vanderbilt over Valparaiso, as we'll move into the Baker system, which will be total pinfall, 5 games coming up here on Inside Bowling. We'll probably go with the split screen for most of the weekend for you guys. Seems to make a little more sense. You know, Flow Bowling with their coverage of multiple pairs now has really made it, made their product superior over guys like me. They have a huge operation, and I'd love to be able to have you be able to click on whatever pair you'd like to go to. And one day maybe we can work towards that. You know, I used to stream a lot, and I've streamed less and less, but I do stream the events that I have really solidified relationships with, and the Southland Bowling League is one of those. And I'll come and continue to do this as long as they'll have me, because we have that kind of grandfathered in relationship to where I have it on my schedule, and I like to come out. I like to see collegiate bowling, and really this is the only event that I do every year, which is good for the viewer at home and bad for the viewer at home, because I'm not versed in collegiate bowling enough to know all the players and things like that. So I do the best that I can for you. But at the same time, also you've got a fresh perspective here in the booth as well. You know, I get to check in once a year and call some action and see the up and coming talent from the female side of things in the NCAA here in the Southland Bowling League. And the Southland Bowling League's always got very high-ranked teams. Vanderbilt, #1 in the country right now. Sam Houston State up there as well. Really, it's a strong conference, and you got that automatic bid and berth into the end of the NCAA finals, the championships. So it comes out of this conference right here, and this thing took a while to develop, and they built it for a reason, because they knew the automatic bursts were going to be coming from conferences, and these teams all pulled together, and that's what we have here for the 5th edition of this Southland Bowling League Championship. Just finishing up our traditional team game. We'll move into Baker. The scoreboards will change a bit, so I'm going to make sure that I get those cut and cropped properly for you, nice and clean as we move into that. Into the Baker round. And then, you know, if Sam Houston State were to lose to Louisiana Tech, they would then be tied 1-1. They'd go into a best-of-7 Baker. And the same can be said for Sam Houston State and Louisiana Tech. I'm sorry, Valparaiso and Vanderbilt. I just got handed to me the Southland players listed by overall scoring average, and it's this massive spreadsheet, and the font size is like 6 font size, but at the same time I can still read it here, and I'm going to try to make heads or tails out of this and try to drop some knowledge for you guys. This is a massive spreadsheet. A lot of stats goes into everything that happens here in the Southland Bowling League conference here. So once again, Vanderbilt defeats Valparaiso to go up 1-0 on the left side of your screen. And Sam Houston State, the number 2 seeds, defeat Louisiana Tech in the traditional team game. Games of 179, 186, 199, 200, and a possible 234 for Vanderbilt. For Valparaiso, it was 170, 138, 165, 147, and 154. Okay, I think we're set for Baker, everybody. Looks like it's a pretty clean picture-in-picture there. So the scoreboard's up for you. They should be switching over to their respected teams up there as well. So we'll see how that turns out. I may crop them a little bit more as we just move into the next portion. It's always interesting the very first time that we roll through, switching from the regular traditional games over to Baker. I'm going to check in on the chat, see if anybody has any questions for me this morning. Oh, Caitlin Dickerson has all the strikes up there. Thank you, Jennifer. She's a junior from Painesville, Ohio. as they bring up these Baker scoreboards, I will get them cropped properly for you. I always just have to wait for those to transpire and take place, and then I can do that for you. Just gotta wait for all the graphics to build and load here. Okay, Baker game number 1 underway here. And we got a strike for Sam Houston State starting it out. Remember, total pinfall, 5 total games here. I also do have a wireless camera to where if we have like any possible Baker 300 games or anything on lanes 23 and 24 and 27, 28, I'll keep an eye out for that as well. Stephen F. Austin and Tulane are underway, almost done with game number 1 of the Baker competition. And it's anybody's ball game right now. And Youngstown State and Arkansas State just underway, 3 frames in. Youngstown State is perfect through 3 frames, and that's off camera. Ooh, just barely picks up the 4-pin there for Valpo. Sam Houston State with strike, spare, strike. Louisiana Tech 9 spare, and I'm going to go ahead and just bank on this being 9 spare also. Yep, 9 spare, 9 spare. Looks like Tulane's going to be in the 180s. They can finish with 187. And Stephen F. Austin has a double going into the 10th frame, can still bowl 196. So they're going to need some strikes over there if they can take a 1-0 lead over Tulane off camera on 23 and 24. It is 187 for Tulane. Youngstown State has the first 4 over on 27-28. We'll keep an eye on that for you as well. Vanderbilt and Valpo just underway on the left side of your screen. The middle pairs are actually much further along than the end pairs that we have here. So once again, we're using 19 and 20, 23 and 4, 27 and 8, and 31 and 32 for this round. We'll be using the same lanes in the next round as well. I believe we're going to cover lanes 31 and 32 and 23 and 24 for you in the next round. It will be the losers bracket matches, which that way it'll let everybody have an opportunity to be on the stream at least once. So this is the first game of the Baker round. 5 games, total pinfall. Game number 1 right here. Stephen F. Austin's going to bowl 174 with a strike in the 10th frame, so Tulane 187. And it's total pinfall, everybody. I know I called it out a minute ago that they would get the win, and it's not. That would be the next round if there's a tie between the Baker format here and the traditional team game. If it was 1-1, 1 point each. So Youngstown State missed in the 5th. They can still bowl 279 over on lanes 27 and 28, and they are through 7 frames. Vanderbilt with a couple of opens to start their first game and a spare. Valparaiso clean through 4. Sam Houston State getting off the Dutch 200 pace with a double in the 5th and the 6th. Louisiana Tech with an open in the 5th. Already find themselves in quite a bit of a deficit here. Hello, Al. How are you this morning? And Chris, nice to have you in the chat. Nice to have you watching some women's collegiate bowling this morning. Sam Houston State with a double now. Can bowl 203. Louisiana Tech can bowl 174 and still can bowl 174 with that strike set up here in the 9th. Valparaiso and Vanderbilt, a little bit lower scoring over here on 19 and 20, and Vanderbilt finds themselves down about 15 pins. I'm just going out to Twitter to promote the stream right now. Getting caught up on some of the social media updating that I need to be doing here. Sam Houston State with a strong 192 start. Possible 154 for Louisiana Tech. All right, Louisiana Tech's going to finish the game here after that slight delay. Two 4-10 for 151. So game number one in the books on lanes 31 and 32. On lanes 19 and 20, still low scoring. That's what I see. Very, very low scoring. Once again, the lane pattern. 41 feet in length, 2-to-1 ratio. So 154 for Valparaiso. Total pins, remember everybody. So strike here for Vanderbilt. Put them in a 10-pin deficit after 1 of 5. So it's 143 start for Vanderbilt. Kind of unusual for the #1 ranked team in the country. I would anticipate they will improve game number 2 by at least 40 pins. That would be my prediction here from the booth. Louisiana Tech off to a really good start here in this game number 2. They're in a 41-pin deficit against Sam Houston State in this Baker competition, and they've already made up those pins just about. For those of you that are extreme bowling purists, I do have a quick graphic I want to bring up for you. This is the lane pattern here at the Southland Bowling League Championships. As I mentioned, it was 41 feet in length. You see down at the bottom, you see the ratios, how it's 1-to-1 in the middle, and then it goes to 2.07 outside. That's a symmetrical lane pattern. Total amount of oil is 26.55 milliliters of oil. Pretty high volume. Back to competition here. want to say hello to Wesley Santiago that joined the chat. Says, showing love from Toronto. Appreciate the work you guys do, what it does for bowling as a whole, grow the sport. And a shout out to Bufa Distribution. That's right, Wesley. We love you guys up there. And Danielle, you're welcome for the split screen. I like the graphics that Rick Barbera has provided by being here on site with each team having their logos behind. Trying to drive the bus as best as we can here, provide the pictures for you. I don't know all the players because I don't stream collegiate bowling every weekend. If you've listened to my broadcast before when I do collegiate, I do wish that there was someone out there that did college bowling every single weekend. That way they knew all the players as it changes all the time. I can't possibly keep up with that, but as the tournament goes on, I do get to learn some of the players. I'll tell you, 4 or 5 of the players that I knew really well the last couple of years I've gotten to know have all graduated. One's the PWBA Rookie of the Year. Another one bowls on the PWBA. Another one's about to bowl full-time this year. So a lot of really awesome talent comes out of this conference. And this is where I get a chance to see some of these players before they go out on tour, because I do a lot of the work with my clients out on the tour, whether if it's ball videos or going out and covering the events or just updating the social media. So this is fun for me. It's a nice getaway. So I'm glad that you're here with me and helping educate me along the way too in the chat, guys. So Louisiana Tech can finish with 191, very respectable score. Sam Houston bowled 192 the first game. Sam Houston a few frames behind here. Louisiana Tech finishes with 181. So it's a 30-pin improvement from their first game score of 151. And a double setting up the 10th frame for Sam Houston State. Make that 3 in a row for Sam Houston State. So in a game where you thought Louisiana Tech would dive into the deficit, because it started out that way, it seemed like, in the 5th. Sam Houston State only had 73, but with spares and now a triple, they can still bowl 201 and actually extend their lead by 20 pins. That's 4 in a row for Sam Houston State. And a nice strike by Valparaiso now has a double for Valparaiso. And I'll tell you what, folks, Valparaiso bowled 154 the first game, Vanderbilt 143. Vanderbilt the number 1 seeds, Valparaiso the number 8 seeds. And Valparaiso giving Vanderbilt all they can handle right now. And Vanderbilt just doesn't quite look like themselves right now in the Baker format. They won by just about 200 pins in the first traditional team game, but for whatever reason, they're just really struggling on Baker out of the gate here this morning. And Valparaiso now with a triple. Remember, this is total pinfall. Total pinfall in the Baker here. So, you know, Vanderbilt, they're down 11 coming in. Valparaiso can bowl 232. Best Vanderbilt could do, and that's if, you know, that's if both teams were to strike out. It's 198, 198. So Vanderbilt could be down 40, 50, or even worse here with 3 games to go. Certainly the powerhouse that they are, they can overcome deficits like that. But Valparaiso really impressive here in the Baker this morning. And another strike for Valparaiso now. So that's a 4-bagger. And here comes Valparaiso. That's awesome. You know, it is March Madness all the way across the board. Obviously, the NCAA men's basketball tournament gets all the love. Competition started Wednesday and Thursday, and today being Friday is the opening round. The rest of the teams play today, but this is our own March Madness right here. And number 8 seed trying to upset the number 1 seed, the number 1 ranked team in the RPI. We've got a developing situation here, everybody. Let's see what happens here. Second ball in the 10th. Okay. 3-6-10. So still going to be in the 2 teens. Can cover it up for 219. Best Vanderbilt can do is 186, 186. That's through 2 games. Valparaiso is going to have about a 50-pin lead with 3 games to go in the Baker format. Sam Houston State, a mental error there, misses the 4-pin. Remember, in the Baker format, the leadoff bowler bowls the 1st and 6th frames. The second bowler bowls the 2nd and 7th frames, and that was just a complete miss of the 3-6-10 there. The 3rd bowler bowls the 3rd and the 8th frame. The 4th bowler bowls 4 and 9, and the anchor bowler bowls the 5th and the entire 10th frame. So 216 for Valparaiso. It's the highest game we've seen on our featured pairs. I missed Sam Houston's score the second game. They bowled 200. So just to give you an idea of this match over here, this is the 3rd game now. 151, 181 for Louisiana Tech, 192, 200 for Sam Houston State. And Valparaiso bowled 154 and 216. Vanderbilt 143, possible 166. Vanderbilt has their back against the ropes here. So 166 for Vanderbilt. So 50 pins more extends Valparaiso's lead in this round 2 here, plus 61 pins ahead. And in the Sam Houston Louisiana Tech match, currently right now, it's a 60 pin lead for Sam Houston over Louisiana Tech through 2 games. So we're headed into game number 3 of the Baker portion. If you're just joining us, we did have a traditional team game this morning already, and it was Vanderbilt taking that from Valparaiso. So they're up 1-0 in the match. Sam Houston over Louisiana Tech, also up 1-0 in the match. Sam Houston has a 60-pin lead through 2 games of Baker. So if they were to defeat Louisiana Tech in this Baker format here, they would be done, and there would be no tiebreaker. Currently right now, Vanderbilt already up 1-0, but Valparaiso with a 61-pin lead. If they win this Baker portion, we will then have a best-of-7 Baker matches to determine who moves on in the winner's bracket of this double elimination Southland Bowling League Championship bracket. I'm also working on getting you guys some updates from the other pairs that are going on. Stephen F. Austin taking on Tulane. Tulane has about a 60-pin lead from what I can see from this vantage point. And Arkansas State has about a 60-pin lead as well in those Baker matches. So I'll keep you up to date on these here, obviously, as well. You can see the scores yourself, but Louisiana Tech and Sam Houston State about a full game, almost a full game ahead now. Pace of play. And Louisiana Tech up 30 in this game. So they're looking to try to cut into that 60-pin lead that Sam Houston State here has in the Baker portion. Really nice, almost, I was going to call it there. I thought she was going to get that. 3, 6, 7, 10. Al Leyendecker in the chat says it's time for Louisiana Tech to go big. I'm feeling it. Looking forward to seeing how good Louisiana Tech does here today and heading into next year and the bright future. So Louisiana Tech can still bowl 201. Sam Houston State can bowl 173. Youngstown State's going to bowl 190 on lanes 27-28. Arkansas State 173 in game number 3. Vanderbilt and Valparaiso pacing each other right now. They're tied through 4 frames. Keep in mind, though, the number 8 seed, Valparaiso Crusaders, looking to even the score here against Vanderbilt. Number 1 seed, number 1 team in the RPI. But you can just kind of see now, Vanderbilt now with a double, getting lined up, filling frames. Oh, wow. That 4-pin needs to be respot on lane 19. Need a respot. Pin setter hit it. We'll wait for that to get set. Let's see if Vanderbilt here can get a triple here. And they can. It's a triple right there. Vanderbilt cutting into this 61-pin deficit to Valparaiso. That's how you do it. 4th, 5th, and 6th frames. Louisiana Tech finishes with 190. Sam Houston State only bowls 152. I'll get you an update here. Remember, 5 total games. 38 pins cut in to the deficit by Louisiana Tech. Gives Sam Houston State just a 22-pin lead now in the Baker format, heading into game number 4 of 5. Sam Houston both games of 192, 200, 152. Louisiana Tech 151, 181, 190. So 22-pin lead for Sam Houston State on the right side of your screen as they head into this game number 4 of Baker here at the Southland Bowling League Championship. Valparaiso clean this game. Vanderbilt with the triple up there in the middle of the game, but Valparaiso clean, not giving any pins away. Hanging tough. Valparaiso with a 35-52 win-loss record on the year. Vanderbilt 94-33. Just goes to show the difference between the 2 teams this year in NCAA collegiate competition. I'm finding this information over at ncaa.com/rankings/bowling. You can check it out yourself if you like. Stephen F. Austin on 23 and 24 can still bowl 237. They're through 8 frames. Well, make that through 9 frames, can still bowl 237. Tulane 112 in the 7th over there. Vanderbilt can still bowl 226. Valparaiso with an open in the 6th, just when I was talking about how they were filling frames. Spare in the 7th. Need to get a strike. Need to try to find a double to make up for that open. It's kind of the rule. If you open, you should try to throw a double. Not that you don't try to throw a strike every time, but in the general terms of bowling, that's kind of what a bowler says to themselves every time they open. Just got to throw a double to make up for it. A nice spare for Valpo. Can still bowl 203. Vanderbilt going into 216 pace. Vanderbilt Valparaiso finishing game 3. Louisiana Tech, Sam Houston State in game 4. Sam Houston State now with a 4-bagger. They're really taking control of this match here in this game number 4. They were up by 60 and then just bowled 152. They were up 22 coming in, but now they have a 4-bagger against Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech is struggling. Vanderbilt with the first strike in the 10th frame. Still bowled 226. Valparaiso with a spare will be in the 170s. Okay, I have some scores for you, and I'll update you on the other matches here as soon as I get these scores here from Vanderbilt Valpo. Hey Chris, how's it going this morning? Nice to have you in the chat. Chris McCoskey in the chat joining us. Thank you, sir. We're doing well. Thanks for inviting us back. Maria Bolanova finished it out with 226, strikes out in the 10th frame for Vanderbilt. So that's quite an improvement for Vanderbilt. Like I was saying, the #1 ranked team, 226 for Vanderbilt and 177 for Valparaiso. So that's a difference of 49 pins. 49 pin difference. Valpo was up by 61 coming in. So just in one game, Vanderbilt shrinks Valparaiso's lead in this 5 total pinfall Baker portion of the tournament in this opening round number 1. Vanderbilt bowled games of 143, 166, 226 now. Valparaiso 154, 216, 177. Vanderbilt's up 1-0 as they did win the traditional game. Vanderbilt looking to go 2-0 and not have to go to the best of 7 Baker matches that would be contested right here on lanes 19 and 20 if it's necessary. They're heading into game number 4, we switch back over to the right side of our screen and we focus our attention over here on the Louisiana Tech Sam Houston State match, just to get everybody up to speed there. It was Sam Houston State 192 in the first game to Louisiana Tech's 151, so it was a 41-pin lead. Then Sam Houston State followed up with a 200 game. Louisiana Tech improved with a 181, but it was still a 60-pin deficit. And in game number 3, Sam Houston State 152, Louisiana Tech bowled 190, so that's a 22-pin match over there. But as you can see, the scoreboard tells the story. Sam Houston State can bowl 243. Louisiana Tech can bowl 169. So the 169, 243, Sam Houston State looking to lock this thing up with 1 game to go. Total pinfall in this Baker portion. Once again, if you want to see the bracket yourself, go over to southland.org. Click on the bowling link and you can get there. I also posted it in the chat here a little while ago here on YouTube. And just to give you an update from the other matches around, through 3 games, Stephen F. Austin 548, Tulane 494. Through 3 games, Youngstown State 605, Arkansas State 562. Youngstown State bowled 265 in an opening game against Arkansas State's 236, so very high scoring. Then followed up with 167 to 136. Youngstown State taking it again. And in Arkansas State 190, Youngstown State 173. So it's a 43-pin match over there. And Stephen F. Austin has a 54-pin lead on Tulane through 3 games. That's through 3 games, not in the camera range. Remember, 8 teams make up the Southland Bowling League. It's a double elimination bracket. Sam Houston State just rolling along, strike after strike after strike. Good place for the 4-pin. So 242 for Sam Houston State. Also earlier, Arkansas State did win the traditional team game, and Tulane won the traditional team game over Stephen F. Austin, Arkansas State over Youngstown State. So in game number 4 was Sam Houston State 242, Louisiana Tech 155. So it's an 87-pin difference, plus the 22-pin lead coming in for Sam Houston State. That's 109-pin lead in this Baker portion for Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State, the number 2 seeds in this Southland Bowling League bracket, coming in ranked 2nd in the conference. Sam Houston State did win the team game, so if they were to lock it up here, they would be done. There would be no need for a best of 7. And they are just rolling down there. Bowling very good this morning, Sam Houston State. Averaging almost 200 as a team in Baker. Vanderbilt with a triple up on the board and Valparaiso with a double. Valparaiso's lead has been cut to 12 after being 61 pins after 2 games. We're in game number 4 here, halfway through on 19 and 20. Oh wow, 5-6, light hit for the lefty. Vanderbilt now with 4 in a row. They are starting to feel it, where Valparaiso had them on the ropes. Now suddenly, Vanderbilt taking the lead. Is Arkansas up in that match though? Oh, okay. Sam Houston State, Louisiana Tech in their 5th game right now. 109 pin lead for Sam Houston. Vanderbilt was down 12 coming into this game. They throw the 4-bagger in the middle of the game. Valparaiso having a hard time filling frames with 2 makeable spares. Missed in this game. They do have the double up. 3 other spares to go with it. Vanderbilt going at a 2:16 pace. Valparaiso 181 pace at this point. So Vanderbilt looking to take the lead here so they don't have to bowl a best of 7. It's a big 10th frame for Valparaiso here. Ooh, just leaves the 4-pin. Valparaiso could have struck out there for 188. Vanderbilt going at a 2-0 pace. Be almost even with a game to go. But instead, Valparaiso, the best they can do is 168. You got a nice spare conversion there in the 9th. That's going to solidify a lead change for Vanderbilt. A lead change. If these 2 matches close out 2-0, if there are any other matches that are going to go to the best of 7 Baker, I will move my wireless camera to those lanes to get set up for that. I will bring you bonus coverage as best as I can. So looks like there could be the possibility of that happening in the other matches. Lanes 23 and 24 and 27 and 28 as Stephen F. Austin taking on Tulane and Arkansas State taking on Youngstown State. All right, Valparaiso finished with 165. And Vanderbilt with a spare and a strike will be 202. Be about a 25-pin lead for Vanderbilt going into the 5th game. So it is 202 for Vanderbilt. So 37 pins. We have a lead change. Valparaiso goes from having a 12-pin advantage now to a 25-pin deficit going into the final game of the Baker. Vanderbilt already up 1-0 in the traditional team game. If they were to win this game, they would advance in the winner's bracket. Valparaiso would move to the loser's bracket, and we'll have that competition coming up at 1:30 Central Time today here from USA Bowl here in Dallas, Texas. I am Mike Flanagan from Inside Bowling. Glad you're joining us. If you haven't had the opportunity or you don't follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, we are at Inside Bowling on all of those social media networks. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we certainly would appreciate it. And you can also head over to our website. We do have merch over on our website. We'd love for you to take a look around, help support the channel. Louisiana Tech can still bowl 186. Sam Houston State 201, but remember it's a 109-pin lead coming in. Sam Houston State's going to advance 2-0, and Louisiana Tech is going to move to the loser's bracket. And it looks like our stream schedule is going to be both matches in the loser's bracket. So we'll have lanes 31 and 32 and lanes 23 and 24 for you coming up at 1:30 today. And then tomorrow morning we will have the winner's bracket matches. And then one from each. Saturday afternoon at 1:30, and then we'll come back Sunday morning with our match number 11, and then our championship match come up right after it comes Sunday morning. So lots of collegiate bowling here for you this weekend. It's 176 for Louisiana Tech, and it looks like, I don't know if we're going to get a fill ball or another person getting to throw the ball here. Substitution, I should say. But Sam Houston State can bowl 190. I'm going to go ahead and pencil them in for 190. I have confidence. Nope, 189 is the final score to 176. That's 13 pins. Sam Houston State gets the win by 122 pins over Louisiana Tech. Sam Houston moves forward, and Louisiana Tech moves to the double elimination losers bracket. We will then just full screen you now over lanes 19 and 20. Vanderbilt, Valparaiso, they are in the 5th game of their match. Vanderbilt, 25 pin lead. Valparaiso putting it to them here with a triple. 4 out of 5 strikes. Valparaiso trying to pull the upset here. Vanderbilt won the first traditional team game, but if Valparaiso can win by 25 or more pins, they will force a best of 7. A best of 7 Baker match. And Valparaiso now with the 4-bagger up there is putting Vanderbilt in a very, very difficult situation here. Now keep in mind, Vanderbilt is clean through 4 frames. And in the Baker system, the Baker scoring format, lead changes can happen in a hurry. A lot of variables. You got a lot of different people bowling. So the string is over at 4. Leaves a 6-10. So here's Maria now, Villanova. One of the best collegiate bowlers right now. Gets a strike for her team. So very, very, very close game. Again, Vanderbilt, 25 pin lead coming into this 5th game. Total pinfall. Valparaiso can still bowl 246. Should be a huge score to force a best of 7 Baker on the same pair where they're bowling very well Baker. They're hanging right with Vanderbilt. Hook. The ball's really got a hook. Four count on the spare is not very good. Let's put it that way. See if Vanderbilt can capitalize. And they do. Southpaw, she throws it really good. Oh, that's about as good as you can throw it at that spare right there. But an open for Valparaiso now. The best Valparaiso can shoot is 219. 25 pin deficit. That would mean if they strike out for 219, Vanderbilt would have to bowl 194 or more. to shut them out and lock them out. No, you're good. You guys advanced, right? Yes. Yeah, 2-0. Arkansas State has advanced in the winner's bracket, by the way, everybody. They have defeated Youngstown State. Youngstown State is going to bowl Louisiana Tech. In the loser's bracket, we'll have that for you at 1:30. Valparaiso and Vanderbilt here right now, looking to see who advances and who goes to the loser's bracket. And with the 25-pin lead coming in, looks like it's going to be Vanderbilt advancing. Valparaiso will go to the loser's bracket. So 2-0, Vanderbilt over Valparaiso right here. All but over. 2-0, Sam Houston State over Louisiana Tech. Arkansas State 2-0 over Youngstown State. And the last match that we'll have to figure out who's advancing is Stephen F. Austin versus Tulane. That's happening over on lanes 23 and 24. And I will do everything I can to bring you the coverage from that match. Valparaiso can finish with 198 with a strike here. Hook, the ball's got a hook. Little right at target there, so it's 196 for Valparaiso. Really nice effort out there, though. I was really impressed with what Valparaiso did. You know, as an 8th seed, no, I look for them to be all you can handle in the loser's bracket. Vanderbilt can still bowl 226. I don't know if there's going to be a ball change or a person change here, but we will see. Substitution just on a fill. No, doesn't look like it. Maybe a ball change. Gather all the information you possibly can. Vanderbilt. Bowl 226. They bowl 143, 166, 226, 202, and can bowl 226 again. And it is 226 for Vanderbilt, so it's a 30 pin. 30 pins more added to this match, so plus 55 pin victory to shut out Valparaiso 2-0 and send Valparaiso to the losers bracket. Vanderbilt advances, is going to take on the winner of Stephen F. Austin and Tulane. And the other part of the winners bracket will be Arkansas State taking on Sam Houston State. And the other match in the losers bracket will be Youngstown State and Louisiana Tech. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to bring you some bonus coverage of Tulane and Stephen F. Austin. I'll be right back with that. I have to just move some cameras around to be able to bring you that. So stay tuned. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, everybody. I have you bonus coverage here. Tulane and Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin, this is the best of 7 now. They're 1-1 in the match. It's the best of 7. Stephen F. Austin just got the first win in the best of 7 Baker. So Stephen F. Austin is up 1-0. If you're just joining us, this is to advance in the winners bracket. The losers would go on to take on Valparaiso in this double elimination bracket. I'm going to make a slight adjustment to this camera here. I'll be right back. Okay, so my first look and your first look at Tulane and Stephen F. Austin this morning. This is the Baker best of 7. Stephen F. Austin up 1-0. We will be back with more coverage today at 1:30 Central. All other matches were 2-0 sweeps, except for this one right here. This one is extended. Once again, here is the lane pattern that they're bowling on. 41 feet in length, 26 milliliters of oil. Very demanding, very flat oil pattern. Good shot. The 6 tapped the 10, just didn't fall down. The Tulane Green Wave, Haley Veach has been their head coach for several years now. Jessica Swick is the assistant coach. Bowlers on the team. Number 10, Isabel Lee. She's a junior from Singapore. Number 12, Tiara Goulam. She's a senior from Schenectady, New York. Number 15 is Crystal Singh. She's a freshman from Coral Springs, Florida. Number 16, Veronica Petronic. She's a freshman from Titusville, Florida. Number 27, Haley Hammonds, a senior from Bowie, Maryland. And number 80, Madison McCall. She's a sophomore from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. For Stephen F. Austin, the Lady Jacks, led by Amber Limpke and Steve Limpke. Number 2, Paige Beanie, a senior from Salado, Texas. Number 14, Dakota Hazelwood, a senior from Capron, Illinois. Number 19, Megan Eaglehouse, a junior from Cibolo, Texas. Number 25, Sarah Voyers, sophomore from Chesterton, Indiana. Number 12, Sarah Gill, sophomore from Attleboro, Massachusetts. Number 3, Dakota Fatchney, she's a sophomore from Innisfil, Ontario, Canada. And number 5, Carleen Bayer, the freshman from Odensburg, Wisconsin. Those are your full team rosters for Stephen F. Austin and Tulane. Pretty close game here. Five-pin match right now. 5-pin match in this best of 7. Fifteen pins. 15-pin lead right now for Stephen F. Austin in this game number 2. Already up 1-0 if you're just joining us. Welcome into the Southland Bowling League Championship. It's our 4th year doing it, 5th year overall. Double elimination bracket. The champions get an automatic berth into the NCAA Women's NCAA Championships, I should say. I'm used to saying the intercollegiate because there's so many different variables in college bowling. This is the NCAA portion. And in my opinion, the most important. This was kind of convenient for me to move these cameras over here to lanes 23 and 24 because this is a pair we'll be using when we come back at 1:30. Just like that, it's 2-pin game. Good shot for Tulane. Setting up the 10th frame with a strike. Stephen F. Austin now up in the 9th frame looking to answer. Well, after that shot there, she gets to 156, possible 186. All right. We've got a possibility of a tie now, everybody. If we get count here, strike out. Spare strike for Tulane would give them 186 each. Got a ball return we're waiting on now, 23 and 24. Okay, so there's count. Stephen F. Austin not out of the second game yet. Still bowl 186. Tulane with a spare strike would bowl 186, so. So Tulane evens the score 1-1. In this best of 7. So now it turns into a best 3 out of 5, essentially. 1-1. $186 to $176. Couple of 9 counts gets things started here in game number 3. Stephen F. Austin with spare strike now. Tulane with the single pin miss. Up in the second frame. It's a big strike right there.
And a trip 4-pin makes it a double for Stephen F. Austin. We call the 4, 6, 7, 9, 10 the Greek church. See how many she can get. She gets 3. So we're looking at 101 in the 5th. About a 13-pin lead for Stephen F. Austin. Could be more depending on what Tulane does here in the 5th, but we'll just call it 13. Solid 10-pin for Tulane. Looks like Stephen F. Austin pretty much in control of this second game. Remember, it is 1-1 right now. They are looking to see who will advance in the winner's bracket, who will go to the loser's bracket. Southland Bowling League Championship. All the other matches were already determined earlier this morning. They were all 2-0. And the favorites won. The number 1 seed Vanderbilt Commodores, the number 2 seed or number 3 seed Arkansas State Red Wolves, and the Sam Houston State Bearcats all advanced of 1, 2, and 3 seeds. Arkansas State's going to bowl Sam Houston State. Vanderbilt's going to bowl the winner of what you're watching unfold right here between Stephen F. Austin and Tulane. Stephen F. Austin can finish with 2:08. Tulane with that strike in the 8th can still get to 2:14, but they must strike out to get to 2:14. And that 4-pin is going to pretty much do it for Tulane in this second game. Stephen F. Austin goes up 2-1. .193 is a good score, but not enough here. It's best of 7. Glad you're with us this morning. Southland Bowling League. We're in Dallas, Texas at USA Bowl. This is the only match going on in the building. We had 3 other ones, as I mentioned earlier. We have extended play here and bonus coverage for you. We have at least 2 more games. Just getting clarification on a couple of things here for the tournament. Watching Tulane, Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin leads this best of 7 Baker. See who advances in the winner's bracket. They're up 2-1 right now. And we start with 4 spares between the two teams. Both teams open in the third. It's a 2-pin match. Stephanie Schwartz is actually in the building, who just graduated from Stephen F. Austin. Double for Tulane. Looking to even the score 2-2. Four-bagger for Tulane as they just keep dropping strikes here. They're ready. And you see the hat down there, the strike hat. I guess once you strike, you wear the hat. Is that how that works? Five in a row now for Tulane. We'll see if the hat changes. And it does. So the string will end at 5. Still bowl 220. So double for Stephen F. Austin here, gaining a little bit of confidence. Tulane can still get to 219. So it's going to be 2-2. So best 2 out of 3 coming up next. Since it's tied 2-2 through 4 games. Very well bowled game for Tulane, 219. Stephen F. Austin can still get to 165 here. Probably going to try a different ball. Maybe bring in a substitution. I'm not sure what they're going to do here, but get a free ball here at the end of the 10th frame. 2-2. Two to two. Let's see who takes the lead. All starts here in the first frame. Stephen F. Austin up first. good spare. So all even through the first frame. Pace of play is a little on the slow side here with just them bowling. I am noticing that. So here we go. Strike here to take the lead. In game 5. Stephen F. Austin with a big strike. Stephen F. Austin with a double now. Looking to take a 3-2 lead in this best of 7 Baker. Right lane has caused problems for these teams. They can't seem to win on the right lane. Just as I say that, Stephen F. Austin with a Greek church over on lane 23. We saw that in the last match as well, a Greek church. But still, with 64 in the fourth, a lot of strikes need to come the Green Waves' way if they're going to take this fifth game and take the lead 3-2. Stephen F. Austin well in command right now. Should go up 3-2. Well, as you guys can see, Stephen F. Austin's going to take a 3-2 lead in this best of 7. We'll see if it goes 7. Wouldn't surprise me if it did. Well, it's not over yet. So the last 5 for 198. And that would give Tulane the lead 3-2. We will see. Strike hats coming on, you can see. It's a big spare. Makes Tulane throw a 4-bagger. Well, that's going to be the end of the run here in this 5th game. Stephen F. Austin does get the win. So Stephen F. Austin, if they win the next game, they will advance in the winner's bracket. If Tulane wins, we'll go to a 7th game. So 188 to 168. So Stephen F. Austin now goes over to the right lane, the harder of the 2 lanes. It's kind of funny, the harder of the 2 lanes, and Tulane is bowling on the 2 lanes. Just realized I did that. Just a reminder, we have coverage all weekend long for you here from the Southland Bowling League. We'll be back at 1:30 Central Time today, and we'll be streaming the 2 losers bracket matches, match 5 and match 6, lanes 31 and 32, lanes 23 and 24 right here. And then we will be back tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. for matches 9 and 10. And then again at 1:30 p.m. for matches 11 and 12. And then we'll come back Sunday morning for round 5, match number 13, to see who will advance to bowl in the final championship match. And we'll have that for you coming up about 11 o'clock. And if the undefeated team loses, they must bowl again, a true double elimination format here. Change to this year's format. So All right, 2 spares here for Tulane. Strike spare for Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin looking to advance in that winner's bracket. Oh my, a 4-5-7. Wow, that right lane's just been really tricky. It's been hard to knock them all down. Spare on 23. Very, very important, especially with the open from Stephen F. Austin in the third. Chance to take the lead here with just converting the 2-4-5. Not an easy spare. Does cover it though, so Tulane takes the lead now. Through 3 frames. Trying to force a game 7. Bowling all day in the chat. Yeah, there's 8 teams total. There's a link in the chat for you. Vanderbilt defeated Valparaiso 2-0. They are going to take on the winner of this match. Arkansas State defeated Youngstown State 2-0. Sam Houston State defeated Louisiana Tech 2-0. So Arkansas State will take on Sam Houston State in the winner's bracket. Then in the loser's bracket, it's going to be Valparaiso versus the loser of this match, and Youngstown State versus Louisiana Tech. Double elimination. 2 teams will go home after this next round, coming up at 1:30 Central. So strikes in the 4th for both teams. Now we see the same lead we just saw a minute ago on lane 23. Now it's on 24, the 2-4-5. Again, not an easy spare. The green wave converts the spare. It's about a 6-pin match here with the spare conversion. All right, great spare. Now Tulane up about a frame ahead. Stephen F. Austin up in the 6th. Oh, a horrible break for a 4-9. That was a really good shot by Tulane, 4-9. Gonna have to try to slide that 4 over into the 9. Stephen F. Austin looking to pounce. Oh, what a great shot. 10-pin. Really good shot there by the leadoff bowler. Tell you what, if this 4-9 gets converted, you're going to see a bunch of girls erupt. Went for it. This flat oil pattern makes it tough. Makes it tough to pick those up. There is a look at the oil pattern again, everybody. was over talking with tournament official Rick Barbera about the format of this event and talking a little bit about just how this impacts the NCAA championships. And we were discussing that in the next match, they'll be coming up at 1:30. Sam Houston State versus Arkansas State. You know, that's a really big match because neither one of them are guaranteed to make it into the championships, NCAA championships. And if one of them were to win, they get the automatic berth out of this Southland Bowling League. So we'll see. We'll see what happens a little bit later. And Stephen F. Austin, another team that could make it in. But they need to win this tournament for sure to get in. And if a lower seed were to win this event, it would probably knock out 2 out of the 3 of the teams in this conference. So very interesting going into a lot of different developing storylines. So Tulane can strike out for 198. And Stephen F. Austin can strike out for 190 if they convert this spare. So we could go to a game 7 here. Well, 3-6-10. So let's see what the scoreboard tells us. A spare strike would give 178. A spare here, 9 spare strike would do it for Stephen F. Austin in advance. A 9 spare 9 would be a tie. Lots of possibilities here. It could go either way. Remember, this is the 6th game. Stephen F. Austin is up 3-2, looking to close out Tulane. Ooh, not necessarily how you want to pick that spare, but gets the job done. 178 max score. Stephen F. Austin can strike out for 190, but more importantly, needs to fill 20 pins here with good count. So strike there is huge for Stephen F. Austin. Now Stephen F. Austin only needs 9 pins on 2 balls, and that's assuming that Tulane throws a strike on their fill ball. 9 pins on 2 balls. Stephen F. Austin will advance. Gets 9, so needs 8 pins on 2 balls. And Tulane will move to the losers bracket. Stephen F. Austin will move on to take on Vanderbilt. And 9's going to do it right there. Stephen F. Austin advances. So your matchups coming up at 1:30 today. Vanderbilt taking on Stephen F. Austin in the winner's bracket. Arkansas State taking on Sam Houston State in the winner's bracket. In the losers bracket will be Valparaiso taking on Tulane, and Youngstown State taking on Louisiana Tech. All of the favorites won today. The 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds have advanced here at USA Bowl in Dallas. I'm Mike Flanagan from InsideBowling.com. I'd like to thank you for joining me this morning. We'll see you back at 1:30 today for more from the Southland Bowling League NCAA Women's Collegiate Bowling. Thanks for joining me. We will see you at 1:30 Central Time today and for the rest of the weekend. Thanks for joining me.